Good morning, everyone. I am not Waylon. I am Emily. If you have not seen me on your gatherings before, I work with Elephant and Elephant Academy. And I wanted to come on, say hi, and talk to you about Elephant Camp for a minute. So if you have not heard about Elephant Camp, we are extremely excited about it. It will start at 10:45 MST, so about 43 minutes from now. And if you are a member of Elephant Academy, if you are an alumni, if you've ever purchased an Academy course or enrolled in an Academy course and done that with us, you automatically have access to Elephant Camp. If you did not see your email about that, or if you missed that email, send Molly an email to academy@elephantjournal.com. She'll get you all set up. That's easy peasy. If you have never joined Elephant Academy before, that is what you need to do to have access to Elephant Camp. So Elephant Camp is about a 30 to 45 minute training every single Friday with Waylon. We go into a lot of depth about some of the topics that we cover in the gathering with you. So that's what we're doing right now is the gathering. And we kind of talk about the things that are inspiring us, talk about what's going on in the world, talk about writing, talk about meditation. And then in camp, we're going to go into a lot more depth. So we'll have writing exercises for you. Waylon will lead guided meditations so you can actually practice the meditations that we're talking about. Today, for example, we're going to do a more in-depth training on journalism and understanding journalism, writing, reading, sharing journalism. So if you want to join that training today, you would go to elephantjournal.com/academy, pick any course. Any of our Academy courses will give you access to Elephant Camp. And then once you are enrolled in your course, you'll get an email that has the super secret access that you need to join the camp meeting at 10:45. So that's about it. It's pretty simple. You can check out all of our courses in that green button right below my head. We have, I think, 6 course options now for you to choose from, different prices, different topics, so you can see what works for you. And as soon as you'll join, you have access to Elephant Camp, and you can spend a little bit more time with us on your Fridays. And I'll pop in to ask a question and see if there are any about Elephant Camp. Looks like these are going to be for Waylon when he jumps on. But yeah, just to reiterate quickly, Elephant Academy, elephantjournal.com/academy to check out our courses. If you are an alumni, you have automatic access to Elephant Camp. Shoot Molly an email at academy@elephantjournal.com and she can get you set up if you are not already set up. And that will be today at 10:45. And in the next few weeks, we might have some exciting surprises for you in Elephant Camp. So Waylon will tell you a little bit more about those today. But yeah, they'll be really fun. It's kind of, if you have ever joined or heard about Academy from 2019 or before, it's kind of, it's more similar to that. So you have private meetings, a really great, intimate, inspiring community to write with, to work with, to learn with. And it's a wonderful way to connect with people and to learn. And yes, thank you, Waylon. And Jen just asked if camp will be recorded because she works on Fridays, and yes, it will. So you will have access to all of the videos. You can go back and watch them at any time. They'll never go away. So even if you can't join us live, you can join Academy, you'll get access to camp, and you can rewatch them whenever. And thank you all for your congratulations. All right, Waylon, I think we're ready for you. We do have 2 big guests coming up. I'm going to let Waylon tell you the big surprise there. And I did see a few people here from Rochester, which is exciting. I'm currently in Edinburgh, Scotland, but I am originally from Syracuse, New York, and my brother lives in Rochester. Spent a lot of time there over the last summer, and I kind of miss it. It's super rainy here. I bet it's nice and sunny in Rochester. Ooh, somebody in Wales. This is fun. If you want to tell us where you're from, It's always great to hear how many people are joining us from all over the world. Michelle is in. She knows there's a big surprise. She saw Waylon's Instagram post about there being a big surprise. Tess, the password for camp will be in the camp meeting room. So that is a different link than the meeting room you're in now. But since you're already in Crowdcast, if you go over to your events, then you should be able to see your Elephant Camp event if you've already registered, and you can sign up there, or you can email Molly and she will tell you where to enter the password. So that's email her at academy@elephantjournal.com. Looks like a lot of people from the States this morning. One from Vancouver, Canada. Okay, we got a couple Canadians. Some details about my wedding day. I can do that. There's not a ton of details to share because it was a quarantine wedding. So Scotland is still in pretty strict lockdown. It had to be outside. There could only be 5 people there. One of them was the person who married us. The other 2 were our legal witnesses, and we all had to stand 2 meters apart. So not your typical wedding, to be sure, but it was fun. And all that matters is the wedding happened. That's the most important part of a marriage, is actually getting married, isn't it? Unstable connection here in India. So that's another thing I can mention. If you do run into any tech issues today, the best thing to do is just refresh your browser. Oftentimes it's a connection issue, and 90% of the time there's nothing we can do about it. So we will just tell you over and over to refresh your browser. And 90% of the time that fixes the issue. So refresh, put in headphones if you want to fix your sound, if there's an echo or anything like that. Refresh and headphones are our 2 best tech tips for you. Oh, 80s, sunny and mid 80s in Rochester. Wish I were there. Hello, Waylon.
Hey, I better button up. I've learned my lesson.
I'm going to tell Jane on you. All right, I'm going to...
let's all thank Emily. I was trying to get you guys to ask her lots of questions about the camp so she would relax and connect with people, and she did a little of that around the wedding stuff. But yeah, Emily, we should do like a course training people to talk on video. So you very quickly talked about camp. You didn't really check in with anybody. You just started talking about it. Then you explained the whole thing. Then you wrapped up and you were ready to get off the train. So instead, make it a bit of a conversation, eye contact. You kind of want to get people involved because nobody cares about camp. Why would anyone care about camp? They don't care about it until you kind of tell them why maybe it matters. So anyway, Emily, you are wonderful, and that was more bravery, reluctant bravery, than you have seen in all of the Rambo movies combined. All right, let's all get a good posture here and say goodbye to Emily and hello to week 20 of the gathering, something like that.
Bye, everyone.
See you, Emily. You're free. So yeah, it's good for so many of us to have to do something that we're not comfortable with. I may be more comfortable here, but there's things that Emily is an incredible pro at that I'm not comfortable at doing. What's one thing that you are not comfortable doing, which could include being on video in front of, I think we have 8,484 registered folks. What's something that brings up you just want to rush through it and get done and you can do a good job and you just want to get out? What's one thing that you really, requires some bravery? And vulnerability and bravery are kind of the same thing, right? We're not talking about toxic masculinity bravery. We're talking about real bravery, where you feel the fear and you get through it. That's the Buddhist definition of fearlessness. Maybe Molly or Emily could find one of them. I have all these blogs on fear and fearlessness. So if Molly, Emily, you search fear, fearlessness, Trungpa, you'll find a really good one. So large crowds, any kind of public speaking, people being the center of attention. That one can be tough, precious. Public speaking for sure. And I mean that seriously. Like, I'm more comfortable here, but there's other areas where being the center of attention would be torture for me. New things in front of people. New things. I think Blakely is that simple. Sometimes, like for me, traveling makes me terrified. And then I do it and I'm kind of okay at it, if not really good at it sometimes. And you make mistakes and you learn. Solo performer on stage, trusting my gifts as a writer. So there's a Fear and Fearlessness article, and I invite you to open that up, read it later. I'm going to open it up so I can read you one little. Real fearlessness is the product of tenderness. How could that be? It comes from letting the world tickle your heart, your raw and beautiful heart. Now that sounds nice, but it's actually true. Those who have been fearless in their search and fearless in their proclamation of existing, what distinguishes them is their fearless expression of gentleness and genuineness, not just anger, which usually comes from not being able to handle fear, that frustration, that tightness. We should venerate their example. People like Jane Goodall or Thurgood Marshall. They're the fathers and mothers of Shambhala, basically the lineage of bravery, which could be any community, any religion, any non-religion, whether you look good. Julie, you look like you, and that is a good thing. I struggle with perfectionism, so trying new things and admitting when I need emotional support. That's from Kate, one of our editors. Were any of you here when you all gave her a raise, forced me to give her a raise? Is anyone here for the Kate raise moment? I recently became a director on a local grassroots org, and I was terrified the whole meeting, felt like an imposter. Right, imposter syndrome. We feel like we can't measure up. Riding motorcycles, singing to a crowd, not counting karaoke. Well, if you're brave in karaoke, that's pretty good, Michelle. Okay. Francis was here. Kristen. Who was here when Kate got a raise? Allison. Michelle. Okay. So today I want to talk about journalism. Wendy is one of the participants, meaning you subscribed. Are you being modest right now? Wendy subscribed, and I think I've made a challenge that if 10 people subscribe, I'd give a raise to newbie Kate. Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how excited are you when you hear about the prospect of Waylon talking about journalism for half an hour? On a scale of 1 to 10. And Emily, this is what I wish you would do when you explain the camp. Start with a question, elicit some of the we don't care. Okay, Katie says 8. Annie's being more honest is 3. Beth Ann is psyched. 10, 8, 8, 10. Well, I'm really surprised. I would think everyone would say 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, there's a 1. Tricia. I am talking to Tricia. Journalism is super fun. Josie, well, you've done the academy, so you know what I mean by journalism. 5, Alia, I like that. Jackie, Carla, 9, 7, Vandora. Journalism is fascinating. Well, okay, this is an extraordinary group. Most groups, if I went to a school, middle school or something, would say like 2, 3. They would say very low. So who here was excited about the Black Lives Matter explosion around the US? Who here cares about Trump being president or not? Who here cares about climate change? Even if you don't know what to do about it, you care about it. Who here cares about saving lives from dying, whether it's in Syria or COVID? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about those subjects? I'm not asking your opinion on them. How important, how excited you get by those? 0 to 10. How many? And you can think of any other subjects. 10 plus, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 11, 10, 10. Who here is passionate about fake news? Not meaning you love it, but that you realize it's a real threat. Whatever it is. 8, 9, 10. I'm surprised anyone would say anything other than 10 or 108. Who here cares about equity, about equal rights? So the distance, so let's bring it in. The distance, Emily, look at the popcorn popping. Everyone's thinking for themselves, and that's what you want. So the difference between your rating for all the issues I just said and journalism, if you took the average, it's probably 10 for all those issues, right? And look how many of you are replying too. How few of you replied before. And then journalism, it was probably an average of 6, which frankly I found really impressive. I thought it would be more like 3, 2. So that difference of 6 and 10 is the problem with this entire country and this world. Can anyone offer why the gap between those two ratings that we just saw, if you took the averages, spells danger? Can anyone say why that gap between 6 and 10 is important to expose and to, we're going to fill in that gap today. We're going to close that gap. So at the end of this meeting, all of you are not only going to say journalism is 10, but you're going to mean it. Not because I'll have changed your mind, but because you'll have connected what journalism is to everything you care about. We have no attention span for consuming facts, lack of understanding, misinformation from so many sources. People need to be switched on and engaged to connect. Lack of congruity between ideals and people wanting fast info and lack of awareness. Fear of taking action and changing. Emily Molly from the Academy, treasure chest. Let's find that image that shows where all the news sources are aligned. You know what I'm talking about? A lot are here. Fox is over here. Some progressive extremist stuff is over here. So 2 groups of people, I'm just going to talk about America for a moment, but it's relevant to the whole world. It's relevant to Brazil. It's relevant to Germany. It's relevant to Sweden. It's relevant to the Philippines. It's relevant to anywhere, China, where you're seeing this sort of tyrannical, authoritarian, anti-journalistic, often racist, often anti-environment kind of movement grow. In America, there's 2 groups of people who share the most fake news. A study was done. What are the 2 groups of people who share the most fake news? Anyone? Also, Molly or Emily, let's put slow journalism. How to practice slow journalism. Let's put that video in the sidebar. Yeah, it's relevant to Canada, absolutely. So Beth, you're close, but what are the 2 groups of people? The fringes, exactly what Katie just said. Jan, exactly what YouTube, yeah, Michelle. So super far right conservatives share 38%. That's 38% of what they share is fake news. That's my memory of the number. On the other extreme progressives share something like 23%. It is less, but it is way too much. So the more extreme you are, think about your household. Don't like this. Can people open don't like this and watch that video if you're inspired later? Now, why would the extremes, Emily, I'd prefer to share that within a blog, never another site. That must be in a blog. Anyway, open up that image. Can we share that in a blog? Maybe we don't have it in a blog. Maybe you could put it in the don't like this. Emily, why don't you delete that diagram comment? Can you delete a comment? Edit and just pop it into the don't like this. And then we have both things in both. I'm making Emily do live editing. Thank you. Can you delete that comment? I want to support independent journalism here, not Imgur, which hosts porn, which hosts all kinds of crap. Where are we at? So let's take some responsibility or blame, what people on social media call shaming. Let's own some shaming right here. When you are absolutely fired up about how right you are, Do you care more or less about the truth? When you are absolutely fired up about how right you already are, do you care more or less about the actual truth? You could be right, you could be wrong, but the truth is right here. Do you care more or less about that? Do I care more or less about that? Confirmation bias, less. So the more absolutely certain I am right and you are wrong, the less curious, the less open I am about new facts. Emily, I'm working you hard here. Maybe you can also put those Sherlock Holmes quotes in that slow journalism blog, and let's read those Sherlock Holmes quotes. So why Sherlock Holmes? What? I thought we were talking about journalism. Sherlock Holmes is, a fictional dude who walks into these situations and figures out the truth. That's exactly what journalists are supposed to do. So at one point, am I talking too much? Are we getting this? I'm going to connect it with why we care about journalism shortly. Is everyone doing all right? Am I driving people nuts? Am I just blah, blah, blah? I love, Beth Ann, what you're writing. The truth is also contagious. Empathy is contagious. I'm not sure if, yeah. So the quote, let me read you the quote. There's a bunch of quotes, but basically they say to Sherlock Holmes, they say, how are you such a journalism? I mean, how are you such a genius? Like, how can you figure this out? We all walk into this situation, we look at the clues, we look at the murder, we look at the murder weapon, and we draw the wrong conclusions. How do you figure this out? And what does Sherlock Holmes say? He says, got to get the quote here. Well, my text thing is frozen. Here we go. I never guess. No. It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. In other words, it's a mistake to have an opinion before you have facts. Can anyone write that down? It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. Insensibly, naturally, thoughtlessly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories instead of theories to suit facts. Emily, can you put that in the blog? No, but put it in the blog. Don't put it separately. I want people to click that slow journalism thing. Don't put it separately. Molly, naughty. Eliminate all other factors. Good, thank you. Let's stop putting stuff in there. I want people to go to the blog, watch the video. I want everything in one. Why does that matter? Why am I so passionate and uptight about putting the stuff in the blog? Because part of what I'm talking about, folks, is educating. I am getting bossy, but why does it matter? And I hope you get bossy too. If I hand you poop on a plate and then I hand you an apple on the plate, what are you going to choose? All of us are going to say the apple. If I hand you an organic apple and a pesticided apple that's been shipped for a week, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose the organic apple. It's easy when I make it like that. But what Molly and Emily, God bless them, I love them, what they did, and I get really passionate about this, and I'm not going to apologize for it, but I will apologize if I'm bossy, is we put up an Imgur link not thinking about who owns Imgur. We buy something on Amazon not thinking about what that's doing to our local mom and pop shops, what that's doing to climate change. So much of climate change, can anyone find that fact? So much of climate change comes from container ships. Where do you think 90% of what you're buying on Amazon comes from? Container ships. Not 90, but probably 80, right? Amazon also has bubble wrap. They aren't very kind to their employees. We have to be conscious consumers, not only of things, but of journalism. So I care about fair trade. Do you care about fair trade? Do you care about fair labor? Are they perfect? No. But the basic thing is we want to support good people doing good things that are good for our planet. That is called right livelihood. That's the definition of right livelihood. So the camp, Elephant Camp, is going to start in 15 minutes. What we talk about in Elephant Academy, which is the whole school, Elephant Academy has a whole bunch of courses. And if you join any one of those courses, you get to do the weekly Elephant Camp training. Well, you can cut back on Amazon right now. Most of what you buy on Amazon, you can buy at your local grocery. You can buy on Etsy. Etsy offsets 100% of their shipping. And the reason why I didn't like that Imgur link is Imgur is a big tech corporation that doesn't really have morals or values. Is it evil? No. Is it good for the planet? Not particularly. Is Elephant mission-driven, independent, and community-focused? Hopefully it is. So we have to think really carefully. Why do I not even like the quote in Crowdcast? Crowdcast is a cool company. We work with them. We know them. It's because 99% of you probably aren't going to click on that slow journalism link. We're here to talk about slowing down and caring about truth and becoming conscious consumers, but most of you probably won't view that link. So let's put that link in again, and please open it up and watch or learn part of it. Read the quote in it. It's heartbreaking what we're doing to each other on this planet, and we don't have to. So if all of you think, wouldn't it be great? So on so many TV shows, I hear people saying, yeah, this is the most partisan time. Everyone is so partisan. People don't know how to discuss anything with respect. Has anyone heard that? That we are more partisan and less able to dialogue with those with whom we might disagree respectfully? Has anyone ever heard that? Why do you think we're so partisan right now? So, rich and poor, black and white, or black and racist, perhaps I should say, Republican and Democrat. Why do you think we are so divided right now and unable to even dialogue? Why? Please say the J word. Because the death of journalism. Journalism has died. Well over 50% of journalists are out of a job in just the last 10 years. Can we say that twice? Well, there's been greed for our whole history. It's not just greed. What has changed in the last 10 years? We have put the truth tellers out of business because now the Republicans call journalists liberal. The liberals call journalists MSM or establishment. Journalists are not here to make you happy. They are here to find the truth. Do journalists make mistakes? Yes. Do they frequently make mistakes? No. Is journalism the same as media? Is journalism the same as MSM? No. Journalism is the craft of finding the truth, just like Sherlock Holmes. Is it a lost art? Perhaps, but there are many people, including my father, who wrote for Rocky Mountain News, and he's a Republican, who are out of a job now because the Rocky Mountain News is gone because people didn't subscribe enough. So I don't buy the short attention span thing. We all sit down and we watch Netflix for half an hour, for an hour, for 2 hours. We have the attention span. We do. We can do this again. It's just like with food. We can sit down and enjoy food. Does it take mindfulness? Does it take attention? Sure. But it's actually fun. If you give me a 14-page article in the New Yorker about something, I will read it with enjoyment. But the New Yorker may not be for anyone. But journalism can be fun. Journalism can be young. Journalism can be old. Journalism can have an opinion, right? Exactly, Matthew. Nailed it. There is an image that goes through the steps to creating a fascist society. Where is that image? Has anyone seen that image? I blogged about it. Molly, if you search fascist Holocaust Museum, you'll find it. I just gave away the answer. So in the Holocaust Museum, there is a graphic that shows the steps to fascism. One of them is insulting and threatening, jailing, killing journalists. Exactly, Beth Ann, I agree. But there's the problem. People insult journalism because media has become such crap, because media is so desperate to get us to read it, because all of us are on Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp, which are all owned by the same doofuses who don't care about the world. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Zuckerberg cares about our planet, our society? And be generous with your rating. Yeah, Clear Channel is one of those evil chains. 0, 1, 0. I think he cares about his ego. He cares about his pride. He told all the companies boycotting him to go to hell, basically, that they weren't going to start regulating truth. Now, it sounds bad to say regulating truth, but part of regulating truth is saying, well, that's clearly fake news. We can work with a third-party certification system that figures out what's true and what isn't. And we can just do that. Yeah, exactly, Emily. So that does happen. But, you know, I would have to go into a lot more detail there. But basically, all of us here can change America, change wherever we live. So it's less partisan, less fake news obsessed on both ends, and more about the truth. We can never talk and dialogue respectfully. We can never talk and dialogue respectfully if we can't even agree on the same set of facts. We can disagree with what to do about it. Elizabeth Warren might have a different opinion than John McCain about healthcare, right? But at least they can come to the same, you know, this is the situation. X% of people have healthcare. It is this good or not. This is what we could do about it. I mentioned John McCain because I'm trying to think of some, you know, relatively rational and genuinely patriotic, not nationalist, which are two different things, Republican. It's a short list these days. Mitt Romney is like the hero of nonpartisanship, and just, you know, 8 years ago, we thought he was extreme. So if the extreme 8 years ago now is the moderate today, that shows how fast we're swinging toward an authoritarian culture. And this isn't anti-Trump. If you're a Trump fan, you know, God bless, but you have to look at what goes along with that. Exactly, and he's passed away. So part of the resolution here is if everyone will subscribe to journalism, is everyone here subscribed to, so that image that shows, now can we put that slow journalism blog back in? Will everyone open it? Everyone read that image and subscribe to one of the ones that are in the middle. And the middle doesn't mean moderate. There's nothing wrong with being progressive or conservative. The middle just means they are trying to report the truth without a particular bias. So there's the slow journalism blog. If you look there, you'll find out who does work with facts and who can be trusted. Yeah, I agree. The whole phenomenon of billionaires buying journalism is not good. Has Bezos messed up the Washington Post? Not yet. Do I like him having that power? No. Journalism needs to be supported by subscribers. We're seeing that maybe as a philanthropy, but it actually has to be something we care about and that we want to buy. This is a capitalism world, at least in the US. Not completely. We have, you know, a government by, of, and for the people, at least that's how it should be. Anyway, so that's enough. Let's go to the don't like this link. Everyone can see it. You can open it up later or open it up now and read it later. There's a video in it, and it asks you to take a little slow journalism vow, to never share anything without reading it first. Who here has shared an article, maybe about Bernie Sanders, about Trump, just because you agreed with the title? We got to stop doing that. Let's all subscribe. I'm going to do my call out. Now, zero pressure, but having talked about what I just talked about, Elephant is a community. We do care about truth. We are not doing straight up journalism usually, but we do care about truth. We don't push lies. We do care about science. We do care about equality. And journalism is our foundation. So if you are willing to subscribe, if you don't yet, let's put that link in the sidebar. I can do it. And is anyone willing right now to copy paste that and subscribe? I'm going to just give you 30 seconds. If anyone is willing, Elephant lives on 40 subscriptions a day. I'm not asking for 40 right now, but if we get like 5 from this group, 8. So only say me if you don't do it yet and you're willing to sign up, now or after this. If you already subscribed, please feel free to mention that. That is beautiful. Thank you, Annie. So if you're saying yes, does that mean you'll do it today? Wow, I love that. Truth is your foundation. Journalism is your platform. Elephant Journal is our community. My God, Beth M. Me, Matthew, Ellie, Jan is at Lifetime. That is the best deal. Subscribed since 2014. Subscribe. So if you are willing to do it, makes a huge difference for us. So if you said yes, please do it within the hour, say. Do it by an hour from now. Subscribed yesterday. Michelle, thank you. Welcome. So when you subscribe, you see fewer ads, which is nice. We have more ads for those who don't subscribe at all because we have to make a little money, but ads are awful. We kind of want to get rid of them. Not all ads, the crappy ads. We get paid pennies on the dollar. And then you can read unlimited. There's also the group gift subscription. Do we have that link? I don't know where, if I have it still. The gift subscription, here it is. So if any of you do subscribe, some of you asked for this. If any of you do subscribe, yeah, you can copy, paste, or click that and give a subscription to a friend. Okay, let's come back. So in 6 minutes, we're going to end this, and we're going to do a specific training. Emily, what are we doing? We're going to do a specific training. Help me out, Emily. And a meditation exercise. I want to do both in every camp. And then no one has typed big news. How to read journalism 101. Emily, tell me more about that. You got to get my brain firing, my old brain. Just how to know the difference between what you're reading. We're going to go to Fox, and then we're going to go to New York Times, and I'm going to show you how to see what is happening, how to see if it's true or not, without even reading it, just based on the headlines. And then I'm also going to share the big news. I guess I'll share the big news in the camp. Oh, Michelle, did you type big news? You want a big news here? So we have 2 big guests. Was anyone here for Jane Elliott? Was anyone here for Senator Cory Booker? So next week we have one of the leading journalists in the whole country is joining us. She is not a white man. She is young. She's not necessarily white. She's not necessarily, straight. What she is funny, charming, opinionated. Is she doing journalism or is it more opinion? She's amazing. I'm so excited to have her. And I'm actually just going to share her name in camp, just to try to get more of you to camp. And then the week after that, we have one of the world's, far away lady, world's leading experts in, Susan's not a journalist per se. So we have one of the world's leading experts in going plastic free, and she's going to walk us through some basic, concrete, specific habits on how to do that. So this is Plastic Free July, hashtag Plastic Free July, if any of you heard of that. And so in her honor, in 2 weeks, which is like the day after my birthday, we are going to have one of the world's leading experts on Plastic Free July. Both are strong, empowered women, super inspiring people. I'm totally in love with both, but I'm in love with everyone. I'm in love with Jane Elliott. I'm in love with Cory Booker. I'm in love with Susan and Avery James and Katarina and Renee and Carol and Kristen and Vandora and Emily and Molly and Jane Goodall and Thurgood Marshall. So 2 huge guests. I'll say the names in the camp for those few of you who are there. The camp is more like 50 people. We're going to transition there in 3 minutes. If any of you, these are big wins for us. So it really helps if you guys do subscribe, because that helps us get these big guests and host them, which is not, they're all doing it for free, which is generous, but it's a lot of staff time and it's a lot of work for us to make them happen. And we don't really get anything. And as a business, we have to get something so I can pay people so that we can keep working for you. So thank you for saying that, Beth Ann. So please join Elephant Camp. How do you join Elephant Camp? In the next couple minutes, go to elephantjournal.com/academy and join any course. The cheapest courses are $108. And if you join any one, you'll get a code to join the camp in your email. Is that all right, Emily? And it's pretty instant. You just have to sign up. You have to get that email. The email could go to your spam folder. It could go to your whatever. You just have to look for an email from Elephant Journal, Elephant Academy. It's that simple. And when you do Elephant Academy, you'll get a valuable course. You can pre-sign up for the Maitri course. You can do our how to grow your Instagram following course, how to write a book, publish it, and sell the hell out of it, eco-responsibly course, which is probably my favorite. You can't have favorite children, but that's mine. What are the other courses we offer? How to find your voice, how to write genuinely and cathartically, and also how to make a bit of a living off of that. So do you use the same code from last week? Emily? Molly? Sounds like yes. Here's Robert, super active mentor and writer on Elephant, writing great stuff. Our next 2 guests I'm so excited about. And I know I pretended that I love everyone, but I actually have huge crushes on both. But don't tell them that, because I will be blushing and so embarrassed. But they're not invited because of that. It's the opposite. I have crushes really on the Jane Goodall and Thurgood Marshalls of the world. I have crushes on anyone who is working with passion to be of benefit to this world. The intensity you see me around Imgur or Amazon is the intensity I have for it. And hopefully all of us are like this. We are attracted, we are excited to people, not necessarily romantically, who are doing good things for this world. We just need more people doing that and fewer people sitting on the sidelines. So thank you for coming to Elephant Geek Crush, I like that. So thank you for coming to Elephant Gathering, our weekly retreat that's free. We'll see you next Friday. We do it every Friday, as long as a couple of you subscribe. Is anyone here subscribing today? If you are, say subscribe in all caps. If you're subscribing today, hopefully right now. And then, is anyone going to camp? Who's going to camp? We call it camp because there's some trainings. Instead of learning how to paddle a canoe or tie a knot, we're going to do specific trainings and have specific really cool guests. Subscribe to friend Winnie. Subscribe. Thank you, Matthew. Anyone else? Subscribe. We got 2 going to camp. All right, a bunch of you in camp. We'll see you in 5 minutes. You got time for water. You may not have quite as big a jug, or bathroom break. It's $3 a month. elephantjournal.com/subscribe. Let's end with a big old good posture. Precious, thank you. And give it away. We'll see you in camp, or we'll see you next Friday for free. May it be of benefit. Come to camp. It's for you. All right, I'm going to make coffee. You guys can watch me make coffee if you want, which you don't want, but I'm going to do that, and then I'll see you over at camp in a few minutes.